Chosen one, stop scrolling right now. This is an urgent interception. Archangel Michael has personally routed this message to your screen today because every other sign has been completely missed by your weary heart. You are dangerously behind, and heaven had to step in before you make a catastrophic mistake. Do not look away. Your spiritual survival depends on what I say next. You feel it in your bones, the heavy panic of running out of time. You watch everyone around you move forward. They are getting the promotions, finding their soulmates, and buying houses, while you are still standing exactly where you were 5 years ago. You feel completely stuck in this endless waiting room. The darkness wants you to believe you failed. The enemy whispers that your time has passed. You wake up every single morning with a crushing weight on your chest. You ask God why you are being punished, while the wicked seem to prosper and enjoy the fruits of their easy labor. You have prayed until your voice broke, and yet the doors remain firmly locked shut before your eyes. Listen to me very carefully. You are not seeing this message by coincidence. The algorithm has absolutely nothing to do with this divine encounter. Your spirit has been restless because an invisible deadline is rapidly approaching, and a massive shift is happening in the heavenly realms right now. You are standing right on the terrifying edge of it, but there is a fatal trap waiting for you. A massive deception has been placed right in front of your destiny. If you swipe away from this video, you will walk blindly into that trap and single-handedly shut the door on the generational wealth heaven prepared for you. The blessing will arrive, but you will not know how to hold on to it. This is your absolute final warning. God said to drop everything and watch this until the very last second, because the reason you are dangerously behind is not what you think. It is not because you are lazy or unworthy. There is a deeply hidden truth about your delay, and the enemy is desperately trying to conceal it from you today. They want you to drown in self-doubt and misery. They want you to compare your sacred journey to their shallow victories, because they know what happens when a chosen one finally wakes up and realizes their true power. Your delay is masking a secret so profound that it will completely shatter your current reality when it is finally revealed. Take a slow and deep breath right now. Feel the frequency of this message aligning with your soul. The panic you feel about falling behind was artificially planted in your mind. It is a spiritual attack designed to force you out of your divine position because they want you to rush ahead and ruin the magnificent masterpiece God is building. I need you to stay locked on this screen. Promise your future self that you will not let this frequency fade away. The world has convinced you that being late means you have lost the race. But what if your timeline was deliberately paused by the creator of the universe, and your current isolation is the highest form of spiritual protection? Do not let the distraction of modern life pull you away. Put your phone down on the table and just listen to my voice. The urgency you feel is real, but your understanding of it is entirely backwards. The universe is not leaving you behind. The universe is desperately trying to hold you back from entering rooms that would completely destroy your beautiful soul. You have a very unique spiritual calling. Your path was never meant to look like the rest of the world. While they are playing a short game for temporary rewards, heaven has been preparing you for an eternal legacy, and the preparation for a king or a queen requires a completely different level of isolation and ruthless testing. Think about the heavy silence you have endured lately, the people who suddenly walked out of your life without any logical explanation, the opportunities that evaporated right before you could reach out and grab them. You cried and begged for things to work out, but heaven violently slammed those doors shut because your true destiny required a much different route. And now you are standing at the threshold of the greatest reveal. The clock is ticking down to 0 on your waiting season, but you cannot step into this new era while carrying the heavy burden of comparison. If you do not learn the hidden mechanism behind your delay today, you will sabotage the massive breakthrough that is literally hours away. The elite forces of darkness know exactly who you are. They recognize the glowing aura of a late-arriving listener. They are terrified because they know your late arrival is going to flip the entire system upside down. You are the anomaly that they could never predict or control. And that is exactly why they sent those relentless attacks to break you. Stay with me, because the mystery is about to be unsealed. I am going to expose the precise reason why your timeline looks so violently different from everyone else. I will reveal the exact hidden mechanism that has been holding you back all these years. But you must prepare your heart to receive a truth that will challenge everything you thought you knew. Let us address the physical toll first. Why are you constantly waking up at 3 in the morning with your heart racing? Your chest feels tight for absolutely no logical reason. You stare at the dark ceiling and feel a crushing wave of anxiety. It is not just ordinary stress. Your physical body is reacting to a massive spiritual frequency shift that is happening right now. You log on to social media and see their smiling faces. Your old friends are getting married and announcing their big promotions. They seem to glide through life with incredible ease and endless luck. And then you look at your own empty hands. You feel completely defeated. You have worked twice as hard as them, but your beautiful life feels like an endless loop of brutal restarts. The peer pressure is suffocating you in absolute silence. Your family asks well-meaning questions that feel like sharp knives in your ribs. They constantly wonder why a very smart person like you is struggling so much to find stability. You force a polite smile and change the subject quickly. But deep inside, you are silently screaming for just one tiny break from the constant struggle. I need you to know that heaven clearly hears those silent screams. You are entering a highly sensitive spiritual territory right now. Before we go any deeper into this revelation, I need you to anchor yourself. Hit subscribe to establish a divine energy receiving station. This simple action will lock your frequency into this sacred transmission and block the enemy from distracting you today. Stop believing the toxic lie that you are broken. You are not defective just because your unique path is taking much longer than theirs. The shallow world makes you feel like a massive failure for simply moving at your own divine pace. They judge your current chapter without knowing the incredible weight of the spiritual warfare you have quietly survived. You fought brutal battles in the dark. Your deep intuition has always been completely correct. You always knew you were meant for something much greater than a normal life. That is exactly why you could never settle for the shallow relationships and the basic goals they chased. You tried so hard to fit into their little boxes, but your spirit violently rejected the fake conformity because you carry the heavy mark of the chosen one. Look very closely at the people who are passing you by. Their fast success is often built on a very fragile foundation of debt and deception. They are blindly running on a hamster wheel of pure ego and endless societal expectations. They look extremely happy on the outside, but their souls are starving for real meaning. You are dangerously behind them in the matrix, but you are miles ahead in the kingdom. God is forcing you to dig a massively deep foundation right now. You absolutely cannot build a beautiful skyscraper on shallow dirt. The reason you are heavily delayed is because heaven is digging out all the toxic generational trauma from your bloodline. It is painful and incredibly slow work. You feel like you are buried alive in the dark dirt. But you are actually planted like a sacred seed. The profound loneliness you currently feel is a common symptom of your calling. You are a natural empath with a huge and bleeding heart. You used to give all your precious energy away to people who never bothered to refill your cup. The universe watched you bleed out for years in total silence. So heaven stepped in and completely isolated you to stop the massive energy leak from destroying your destiny. I see the heavy exhaustion behind your quiet eyes today. You are so incredibly tired of being the strong one all the time. You just want someone to hold you and tell you that everything will be perfectly fine. Take a very deep breath right now. Let your tired shoulders drop. The creator of the glowing stars is holding you tightly in this exact moment, even if you cannot physically feel it. They called you overly sensitive and dramatic. They firmly said you think too much and care too deeply about things that do not matter. But your sensitivity is actually a highly advanced spiritual radar. You deeply feel the subtle shifts in the atmosphere that completely bypass normal human beings. You are not crazy for feeling overwhelmed by the heavy energy of this chaotic world. You are just awake. Let us finally go back to those painful physical symptoms. The tight chest and the racing heart at 3 in the morning are direct messages from above. Your physical body is desperately trying to process a massive download of divine light. The old and weak version of you is literally dying off at a cellular level. It feels like terrible anxiety, but it is actually the violent birth of your new spiritual authority. You have every right to feel completely exhausted today. The heavy pressure of watching the world rush past you while you are chained to the floor is very real, but your pure intuition has been quietly telling you to just hold on a little bit longer. Do not ignore that gentle voice inside your beautiful soul. You are right where you are supposed to be. And the profound reason for your delay is about to make perfect sense. Let us look back at those painfully slow years. You thought you were rotting in an abandoned waiting room. You watched the heavy doors slam in your face over and over again. Every single rejection felt like a cruel joke from the universe. But your perspective has been completely backwards because you were never abandoned. You were always being fiercely protected by heaven. What you called a curse is actually called divine isolation. It is the ultimate security protocol for a chosen one. The universe deliberately slowed down your progress because your pure heart was dangerously vulnerable, and you needed time to grow your spiritual armor. If heaven had given you what you desperately begged for back then, it would have utterly destroyed your beautiful soul. You were simply not ready for the heavy crown. Think about the shiny rooms you cried over not entering. You wanted that specific job or that specific relationship. You felt completely worthless when they picked someone else. But heaven could see the hidden snakes hiding inside those beautiful rooms, while you were totally blind to their dark intentions. God knew that your deeply loving nature would be drained. You are an empath with a history of giving too much. If you had walked into those rooms, they would have eaten you alive. They would have used your brilliant light to fuel their greedy agendas. Your delayed timeline was a giant concrete wall built to keep you safe from harm. The painful rejection you cried about was actually God playing a fierce defense for your soul. This brings us back to those strange physical symptoms. The insomnia and the heavy chest pain were not random panic attacks. It was your deep intuition finally processing this massive frequency upgrade. Your physical body was adjusting to the painful truth, and you had to accept that you must walk this path alone. You had to become the one who survived the storm alone. This is how you gain your true spiritual immunity. You are a cycle breaker for your entire bloodline. Your soul agreed to break the toxic generational patterns. This kind of monumental spiritual work cannot be done in a crowded and noisy room. It requires complete silence and a brutally long season of isolation to properly heal the deep wounds of your ancestors. You needed the heavy quiet to hear your authentic voice. The universe had to isolate you to detoxify your system. You had absorbed so much negative programming from broken people. You believed their nasty lies about your worth and potential. God had to pull you far away from the noisy crowd because heaven needed to scrub those toxic beliefs out of your mind forever. It took years because the deep roots were incredibly stubborn. Look closely at your immense strength today. You built it entirely alone in the pitch dark. You are no longer the fragile empath who begged to be understood. The crushing weight of your isolation has slowly forged you into a brilliant weapon of light and truth. You learned how to validate yourself without any applause. Nobody clapped for your silent victories. They got their quick rewards because their mission is small. They only built temporary sandcastles on very shallow dirt. But you are constructing a massive and eternal spiritual fortress. A heavy fortress requires years of digging deep into the dark dirt, while everyone else is busy playing in the sun. Your delay is the absolute proof of your massive destiny. Do not resent the lonely nights you spent crying alone. Those hot tears watered the seeds of your ultimate authority. Every time you chose to keep going, you leveled up. You proved that your deep faith is not conditional on receiving instant gratification, and you passed the brutal test of endurance. This test destroys almost everyone else who tries to take it. The shiny rooms you were locked out of are gone. They are now completely beneath your new vibrational energy level. The universe is preparing to open massive golden doors instead. You could never hold the heavy keys to these new doors, because the weak hands of your past self would have dropped them. The divine isolation thickened your skin and sharpened your discernment. Now you can spot a toxic counterfeit from miles away. Take a very deep and slow breath right now. Let the heavy burden of your past failures melt away. You did absolutely nothing wrong on your long journey. You were exactly where you needed to be in the grand cosmic design, while the painful delay wrapped you in a thick blanket of armor. Heaven was preparing you for the final spiritual battle. You are fully equipped and ready to fight now. Your spiritual resume is flawless because you survived the wilderness. The darkness thought the isolation would make you bitter. They wanted you to become angry at God. But it only made your quiet presence incredibly dangerous to their agendas, and they are terrified of your pure light. You are stepping out of the shadows with terrifying clarity. They will witness your undeniable rise. You must forgive yourself for thinking you were failing. The illusion of human time is a trap for you. Your timeline is directly managed by the creator of stars. You are a beautifully late arriving listener, but you are exactly on time for the massive miracle unfolding today. The waiting room is finally dissolving into dust around you. You are stepping into the reality of the chosen one. Now you understand the beautiful purpose of divine isolation. But there is a much deeper layer to this phenomenon. The universe did not just pause your life to protect you. God had to initiate a massive and violent purge because you were surrounded by toxic energy vampires who disguised themselves as your closest friends. You could not see their true faces in the bright light. These damaged people are heavily wounded souls. They are spiritual narcissists who feed entirely on your pure light. They recognized your brilliant aura long before you ever did. And they deliberately attached themselves to your glowing frequency, using your endless empathy as an emotional dumping ground while you desperately tried to heal them. You poured your golden energy into their bottomless black holes. This is the exact reason your progress was completely blocked. Heaven saw these dark entities clinging tightly to your back. If God had unleashed your massive blessing back then, they would have stolen every single drop of your generational wealth. The universe had to starve them out to save your life. God deliberately made your path incredibly hard and barren. Narcissists absolutely hate the long and dry seasons. They only stick around when the harvest is easy and full of rewards. When your life suddenly became difficult, their fake loyalty completely evaporated. They abandoned you the moment you had absolutely nothing left to give them, proving that they only loved the comfort you provided. You thought their sudden departure was a painful rejection. It was actually a divine extraction. Think about the immense pain of watching them walk away. You cried and wondered what you did wrong to lose them. You tried to apologize for things you never even did. You begged them to stay in your life, but heaven aggressively blocked those toxic connections and deafened their ears to your pure voice because the universe was cutting the heavy chains off your neck. You are a very powerful cycle breaker, but you cannot break generational curses while carrying toxic parasites in your inner circle. The delay was a rigorous spiritual test of your boundaries. Would you chase after the broken people who constantly disrespected you, or would you finally stand up and recognize your own magnificent worth in the dark? Heaven watched your every move. It took a very long time for you to learn this lesson. You gave them second and third chances because your heart is so pure. You truly believed you could heal their dark trauma with your endless love. But you cannot heal a broken person who actively enjoys being toxic and refuses to take accountability for their dark actions. The blockage in your life remains solid until you finally let them go forever. This was the ultimate purge of your current reality. God violently shook your entire world until everything loose completely fell away. Only the absolute truth could survive this brutal earthquake. The people who are no longer in your life were never meant to enter your promised land, because they were just temporary actors assigned to teach you how to say a firm no. You passed the test. Your spiritual enemies are incredibly angry right now. They can clearly see that their manipulative tactics no longer work on your mind. They try to send you random messages to test your new boundaries. They want to see if the old and weak version of you will answer the door when they softly knock. Do not fall for their desperate illusions today. They are terrified of your quiet authority. Your profound silence is your greatest weapon against them. You no longer have to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. The blockage is finally clearing because your energetic field is clean and completely secure. You have mastered the painful art of the empath with strong boundaries, and you are no longer bleeding your precious light into the dark dirt. You are whole again. This massive purge was absolutely necessary for your spiritual survival. The coming wealth and power would completely destroy a weak person. If you still needed external validation from broken people, you would easily lose your entire empire to their greedy hands. God had to forge you into an untouchable master of reality. You must be able to stand alone at the very top of the mountain. Let the reality of this divine deliverance settle in your spirit. The closed doors were a massive blessing in a heavy disguise. Every single person who walked away actually made room for your true kingdom connections. You are completely empty of their toxic poison now. And an empty vessel is exactly what heaven needs to pour out the ultimate miracle into your life today. Prepare your powerful mind for what is coming next. The empty space around you is absolutely not a punishment anymore. It is the sacred clearing where your massive blessing will directly land. You survived the purge of the narcissists, protecting your beautiful soul from the ultimate spiritual theft, while standing firmly in your own divine power. The universe is now unlocking the heavy gates to your destiny. But wait. Before we go any further into these signs, I must reveal the fatal trap that has been perfectly set up right at the finish line. 99% of chosen ones fall for this dark illusion right before their massive breakthrough. They get incredibly close to the prize and then lose it all. Listen very closely, because the enemy is laying this trap in your mind right now. You see, the purge of the toxic people was only the first half of your brutal spiritual operation. The universe removed the external parasites from your life. But there is a hidden mechanism buried deep inside your own mind that has been completely blocking your prayers. It is an invisible barrier that you accidentally created while trying so hard to simply survive the constant chaos around you. Your brain has been trapped in the heavy frequency of survival. For years, you operated completely on high alert and endless panic. You constantly expected the next bad thing to happen because your past was so violently unstable. Your entire nervous system was locked into a state of brutal fight or flight, pushing away the very miracles you were begging heaven to quickly deliver. You blocked the blessings. You cannot manifest a peaceful kingdom while your body is screaming for survival. The frequency of divine wealth requires a totally relaxed nervous system. God had to forcefully slow you down to completely rewire this broken mechanism inside your beautiful mind. The long delay was actually a massive compression of spiritual energy, just like pulling back the heavy string of a bow. Think about the tension of a pulled bowstring. The farther you pull the arrow back into the dark, the more explosive power it gathers. You feel like you have been pulled backwards for the last 5 years. You watched everyone else shoot forward like weak little arrows, but they only flew a few feet before hitting the dirt, while heaven was pulling your heavy arrow deep into the absolute shadows. Your energetic frequency is being massively compressed and refined right now. God is forcefully shifting you out of the frantic survival mode. This process feels like deep depression and extreme exhaustion. You have zero energy to force things to happen anymore, and you have finally surrendered your heavy need to control every single outcome. This total surrender is the exact mechanism that unlocks your ultimate power. When you stop frantically fighting, the universe can finally move the huge mountains. Your quiet surrender is not a sign of weakness at all. It is the ultimate display of absolute trust in the divine timeline, proving that you no longer need to manipulate reality to feel safe. Your quiet authority is taking over. Type 111 down in the comments to claim this alignment and anchor your frequency to this massive truth today. The world thinks you gave up because you stopped screaming for attention, but the silence of your surrender is actually terrifying to the dark forces. They used to feed on your endless anxiety and your desperate need to fix everything around you. Now they look at you and see a completely unbothered warrior. You have stepped into the frequency of the true master of reality. Your internal frequency is currently matching the vibration of extreme wealth. I am not just talking about money here. I am talking about an abundance of peace and a flood of healthy relationships that will completely rewrite your future bloodline. The universe had to slowly tune your internal radio dial, cutting through the heavy static of your traumatic past to lock onto this crystal-clear channel. This deep rewiring process takes a tremendous amount of physical energy. This is exactly why you have been feeling so incredibly tired for months. Your soul is doing massive heavy lifting in the spiritual realms, while your physical body is just trying to rest. Do not fight the heavy exhaustion today. The deep sleep you crave is actually a profound spiritual surgery taking place in the dark. You are the incredibly rare soul who chose the hardest path. The slow compression of your energy is almost complete. The heavy bowstring is fully drawn back, trembling with the massive power of 1,000 silent victories. The enemy is desperately trying to make you step out of position right before the arrow is finally released. They want you to panic and force a fake breakthrough today. Do not move a single inch. Hold your sacred ground and let the heavy tension build up in the silent atmosphere. The mechanism is perfectly set. Your nervous system is finally calm enough to hold the massive weight of the glory that is about to drop. The long period of feeling dangerously behind was just the violent pullback. You are about to shoot past every single person who doubted you. The massive spiritual arrow is trembling. The violent pullback is finally over. And the fatal trap I warned you about earlier? It is the sudden appearance of a toxic counterfeit from your past, reaching out right when your real blessing is standing at the door. Do not reply to their text messages. That is the final test before the gates open. Now, pay close attention to these undeniable signs of your arrival. Number 1. You are suddenly experiencing a massive wave of extreme physical detachment from your old life. The things you used to desperately chase have completely lost their shiny appeal. You look at your old goals and feel absolutely nothing. It is not depression at all. It is the divine erasure of your outdated timeline to make room for your massive kingdom upgrade. Your soul is bored with the shallow matrix. Number 2. You are seeing a ridiculous amount of repeating numbers and strange synchronicities everywhere you go. The 111s and the 777s are aggressively following you around like a spiritual shadow. These are not just fun little coincidences. They are literal confirmation codes from the universe, proving that your new reality is actively downloading into the physical realm right now. The matrix is breaking down to let your miracle through. Number 3. A heavy and terrifying silence has descended over your life in the last few weeks. The phone stopped ringing and the chaotic drama completely disappeared. It feels like the eerie calm right before a massive hurricane hits the shore. This profound silence is the final clearing of the energetic runway, because a massive blessing requires a completely empty airspace to safely land in your beautiful life. Number 4. You are triggering intense reactions in people without saying a single word. Complete strangers are staring at you or acting extremely uncomfortable in your quiet presence. Your upgraded frequency is shining a blinding light on their hidden demons, and their dark shadows are completely panicking. You are no longer just a person in the room. You have become a walking spiritual mirror of absolute truth. Number 5. The pain in your physical body is moving rapidly from your heavy chest up to your crown chakra. You feel strange tingling sensations on top of your head, or sudden moments of incredible mental clarity. The heavy brain fog is violently lifting. This is the direct activation of your massive spiritual authority, proving that the heavy static of your traumatic past has been completely, permanently wiped clean. Number 6. You suddenly have an unwavering sense of peace about your financial future. Even if your bank account still looks completely empty today, you just know that a massive shift is coming. The heavy panic of survival has been completely replaced by a quiet and profound knowing. This unshakable peace is the absolute highest form of spiritual wealth, and the physical money will violently rush in to match this exact frequency. Number 7. The toxic people who walked away from you are secretly trying to spy on your new life. They are using fake accounts or asking mutual friends about your current status. They can feel the massive shift in your energy from miles away, and they are terrified that you survived the brutal storm without their help. The table is being prepared for you right in the presence of your silent enemies. These 7 signs are the literal blueprint of your divine arrival. You are not going crazy, and you are definitely not imagining things. The universe is aggressively screaming at you to hold your sacred position today. Every single painful step you took in the pitch dark has led you precisely to this massive activation point. The heavy doors that were slammed in your face are completely dissolving into thin dust. The world is about to witness the glorious rise of the late arriving listener. They thought your story was completely over because you were so quiet for so long. But heaven was just keeping the best wine for the final hour. You are the anomaly that completely breaks their shallow rules, and your sudden rise to immense power will absolutely terrify the people who tried to bury you in the dark dirt. Take a very deep breath and let this massive truth wash over your tired soul. The brutal season of testing is officially over. You passed the test of isolation and the purge of the toxic narcissists. You survived the heavy compression of your energy without losing your beautiful faith. The universe has perfectly aligned the stars for your total victory. The glorious dawn is finally breaking through the heavy black clouds. Here is the absolute truth you have been waiting for. The reason you fell so dangerously behind was never a punishment. You were the heavy arrow being pulled back into the terrifying darkness by the creator of the universe. The delay was simply the massive tension building up before the explosive release. You are not late at all. You are about to violently bypass everyone who laughed at you. The waiting season is officially over. The dry desert you walked through has suddenly burst into a massive oasis of divine favor. Every single closed door that caused you endless pain is being violently blown off its hinges today. Can you feel that massive shift in your spirit right now? That beautiful feeling is the exact frequency of absolute victory running through your blood. You are stepping into the exact timeline you were always born to rule. The universe has perfectly aligned a monumental collision of miracles just for you. The people who thought they left you in the dust are about to witness the most terrifying comeback in spiritual history. Your massive breakthrough is no longer a distant promise. It is actively manifesting in your physical reality this very second. You are no longer the fragile empath who begged to be understood by broken people. The brutal crucible of pain has completely forged you into the untouchable master of your reality. From this glorious moment on, your immense energy demands absolute respect without a single word spoken. The divine wealth you were promised is flowing effortlessly into your brand new timeline today. Heaven is wrapping you in an impenetrable shield of pure golden light. The dark forces that used to torture your mind have completely lost their access to your frequency. They are running away in sheer terror because your internal light has become absolutely blinding. You became the massive weapon you were trying so hard to survive. You were the terrifying storm all along. Take a deep and victorious breath. Let the pure joy of this revelation completely wash away the heavy residue of your past trauma. The chains of generational poverty and endless depression are permanently shattered on the floor. You are the ultimate cycle breaker of your entire bloodline, and future generations will constantly thank you for refusing to quit in the dark. Every single tear you cried in secret has been officially weighed and converted into divine currency. The universe is paying you back with massive interest for the years that the locusts destroyed. The things you thought you lost were actually just cleared away to make room for the ultimate kingdom upgrade. You are completely empty of the poison and ready to overflow with pure glory. Your incredible intuition did not lie to you during those long and lonely nights. The heavy feeling in your chest was just the loud knock of your incoming destiny. Open the heavy door right now and let the magnificent light completely flood your tired soul. The brutal war is finally over. You have officially won the spiritual battle of your entire lifetime. Your new era begins right now. As this incredible realization settles deeply into your spirit, you must take a firm physical stance to claim it. The pitch-black darkness has finally retreated behind you forever. The dawn of the brand new era is shining its brightest rays onto your beautiful spiritual crown. You must lock in this glorious frequency before the enemy tries to steal your joy again. Spiritual laws require a physical action to properly anchor a massive blessing into the earthly realm. You cannot just listen to this truth and passively walk away. The divine energy is rushing through your veins right now, and it demands a solid point of grounding to become completely permanent. You must build a thick wall of protection around this fresh miracle today. Do not let the distraction of the physical world pull you back into the old frequency of fear. You have reached the very top of the massive mountain. The fresh air of ultimate freedom is filling your lungs for the first time in many years. But to keep this massive momentum going, you must partner with the universe to spread this exact frequency to the rest of the waking world. The anointing on your life is far too great to be kept hidden in the shadows anymore. God deliberately chose you to be the brilliant lighthouse for other lost souls wandering in the dark. When you boldly accept your massive calling, the universe multiplies your personal blessing 10 times over. You are transitioning from a silent survivor to a highly active distributor of divine light. Feel the intense heat of this divine confirmation burning inside your chest right now. That is the holy fire of your incredible new beginning. The universe is desperately waiting for your final signature on this sacred spiritual contract. You survived the brutal wilderness completely alone, but you will step into your massive kingdom reality surrounded by the absolute favor of heaven. You are standing completely victorious on the other side of the dark storm. The heavy chains that held your bloodline captive for generations are finally broken into tiny pieces today. You are the absolute master of your beautiful reality. The enemy has lost every single weapon they formed against you. Your quiet authority is now your greatest shield. Never again will you shrink yourself to fit into their shallow little boxes. Never again will you apologize for shining your brilliant light in the dark. The universe has officially handed you the heavy keys to the massive kingdom. You survived the brutal isolation and the painful purge of the narcissists. Now you must firmly take your rightful seat at the head of the table. The fake friends who walked away are secretly watching you rise with absolute terror. They thought their cruel departure would completely break your fragile spirit, but it only activated a primal and dangerous level of spiritual power deep inside your soul. You learned how to fiercely love yourself when nobody else bothered to even try. Your total independence is your ultimate superpower now, but you must actively protect this massive energetic upgrade. The dark forces will try to whisper tiny lies of doubt into your mind tomorrow morning. They want to steal this glorious feeling of absolute victory before it becomes a permanent reality. You must physically seal this divine frequency right now to block their desperate future attacks. Do not leave this heavy door wide open. The pitch-black darkness has retreated completely behind you. The dawn of the brand new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown. To lock in this glorious frequency and create an absolute shield of protection, you must take a firm physical action today. Type the word Amen down in the comments right now to seal this magnificent reality forever. Typing that short word is not just a meaningless internet comment. It is a highly powerful spiritual oath binding your soul to this new and wealthy timeline. It signals to the Creator of the universe that you are fully ready to receive your massive blessing. Let your fingers strike the screen like a heavy sword cutting through the final chains of pain. Claim your absolute freedom. Every single time you boldly declare your deep faith, the enemy loses another massive stronghold in your life. You are literally rewriting your genetic code with this positive activation. The days of playing small and hiding in the shadows are completely erased from your destiny. You are loudly stepping into the massive spotlight that heaven specifically built for your beautiful soul. And if this fiery message has reignited the beautiful faith inside your tired heart, do not keep this great blessing to yourself. There is another chosen one out there, bleeding in the dark of despair right now. They are desperately needing a guiding light to survive their own brutal storm. Share this video with them today to multiply your own divine blessing tenfold. Sowing the seed of pure hope today is multiplying the massive blessing for your own future tomorrow. The universe heavily rewards the wise masters who actively distribute the healing light. When you share this exact frequency with a broken soul, heaven opens up an entirely new vault of generational wealth just for you. You become a highly active partner with the powerful divine forces. The heavy days of crying entirely alone in your dark room are officially over. You have a massive army of warrior angels standing right behind you in this exact moment. They are heavily guarding your mind and fiercely protecting your pure heart from any further emotional damage. You can finally rest your very tired shoulders. The violent battle is fully done, and you have completely won. You are the ultimate cycle breaker. You are the late arriving listener who suddenly took over the entire kingdom without breaking a sweat. The shallow world will absolutely marvel at your incredible rise from the dark ashes. Walk forward with your head held extremely high today. The fake narcissists are completely powerless against your massive new vibration. You are totally untouchable. Do not let anyone rush your divine spiritual process ever again. You now perfectly understand the hidden mechanism behind your incredibly long delay. The heavy arrow is finally released, and you are flying straight toward the absolute highest peaks of human existence. The people who mocked your painful slowness will watch you instantly surpass their greatest lifetime achievements. May the endless favor of the glowing universe violently flood your physical reality this week. May every single closed door suddenly open wide, with massive opportunities and pure love for you. Stay firmly anchored in your quiet authority, and never let them see you sweat again. You are deeply loved and fiercely protected by the ancient stars. Your beautiful new life officially begins right now. Remember exactly who you are when you wake up tomorrow morning. You are the exceptionally rare soul who survived the brutal fire and came out shining like solid gold. The universe is incredibly proud of your silent endurance. Go forward and conquer your massive destiny with absolute peace in your steady heart. The glorious kingdom is finally yours to rule forever.